Horror Planet, where horror memories live. Dread Central, where horror stories are. Window 5. Jasmine had always been fascinated by the abandoned amusement park on the outskirts of town. She had heard rumors about strange occurrences happening there, but she never believed them. One night, Jasmine and her friends decided to explore the park. As they wandered through the park, they heard eerie music playing in the distance. They followed the sound until they reached the old carousel. To their surprise, the carousel was turning on its own, with no one around to operate it. Suddenly, one of Jasmine's friends vanished into thin air. They searched frantically for her, but she was nowhere to be found. The remaining friends were terrified and ran out of the park, vowing never to return. But Jasmine couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. She returned to the park alone, determined to find out what had happened to her friend. As she made her way back to the carousel, she heard the music again. This time, she saw her friend sitting on one of the horses, going around and around in circles. But her friend's face was twisted into a grotesque expression, and her eyes were hollow and lifeless. Jasmine tried to approach her friend, but she was stopped by a group of clowns. They had sinister grins on their faces and were carrying knives. Jasmine knew she had to get out of there before it was too late. She ran through the park, with the clowns chasing after her. But as she reached the exit, she was stopped by a tall figure dressed in a top hat and tails. His face was obscured by shadows, but Jasmine knew he was the one behind everything. The figure spoke in a low, menacing voice. He told Jasmine that the amusement park was his domain, and he would never let anyone leave. But Jasmine wasn't going to give up without a fight. She grabbed a nearby shovel and swung it at the figure's head. The figure let out a blood-curdling scream and disappeared into thin air. Jasmine's friend was released from the carousel, and they both ran out of the park, vowing never to return. Jasmine later learned that the amusement park had been built on top of an old graveyard. The spirits of the deceased had been angered by the park's construction, and had trapped anyone who entered inside. Jasmine and her friend were lucky to have escaped, but they would never forget the terror they had experienced in that haunted park.